engaging network specific things, but we're really going to focus more on kind of creative best practices and tricks and tips, and we have got a ton of samples from all sorts of organizations that I'm sure you'll recognize, and hopefully you went to sessions on like marketing automation and the hub, so you'll understand when we do reference those tools specifically how you can use them to really maximize your sustainer program moving forward, because it really is the most sustainable thing that you can do for your organization to ensure long-term revenue. As I mentioned, I'm Brenna Holmes. I'm the VP of Digital Services at CCAH. CCAH is also Chapman, Kubine, and Hussey. I always say the acronym so we don't sound too much like a law firm, but that is the full thing. We're a fully integrated direct response consulting firm working with nonprofits center and left of center. We also do some political campaign work, mainly in the mail and telemarketing too. And we are headquartered just here in Arlington, then we have a San Francisco office, technically Oakland now, we just moved. And then folks that are in home offices all over the country. So we work with organizations all over the place, national and international.
Yes, and hi, my name is Alyssa Ackerman, and I'm also from CCAH. I'm a senior digital account executive. And prior to joining CCAH, I had experience in nonprofit development at different patient advocacy organizations. And so now I provide strategic oversight and digital program management for multiple clients, one of which we'll talk about today. But I'm really excited to talk to everyone about the importance of monthly giving and how we can use that to our strategic advantage. So let's get started. So before we dive into techniques and tips, it's always good to come back and remember who makes up a monthly donor, who would be a good fit for this ask, because you always want to be making the right ask to the right people. So new to file donors and members. These are people who feel the most motivated by your mission. They just made a gift, so it's really a good time to see if they'll take that next step with you. Donors who make multiple gifts. These are people who have loyalty to your organization and great long-term value. And if they're already making multiple gifts, why not make it easier for them and have them sign up to be a monthly donor? Your non-donor subscribers. So these are people who might be taking action for you through petitions, surveys, and quizzes. They're engaged, but not monetarily. So this could be a good entry point for them. And then your direct to sustainer new donor acquisition group. So these are people who decide that making a monthly gift is right for them from the beginning. So they're making this commitment to give every month themselves coming onto the file. So that really shows their commitment and loyalty. And then also, you can model your current donors or members to find those attributes that are in your donors and create an audience that could be a good fit for monthly donors. And so all this is to say that there are definitely different groups of people that would be right for your monthly donors, but really we live in a time now where people aren't really nervous about giving their credit card information and having monthly subscriptions to things like Netflix. You probably don't even think about your Netflix subscription every month. So taking that same approach to monthly donors, it's not as scary of an ask.
Yeah, I like to call it the Netflixication of our lives. It really is everything and everywhere now. We don't have to walk folks up that ladder of engagement that used to be the digital best practice of like, get them to sign a petition first, walk before you run. Many people, and we find up to 40-50% of new acquired donors will make that first gift as a monthly donor. So don't be too scared to ask.
And so now that we have kind of our target audiences, how do we get more monthly donors? And so really that is everywhere. There is always an opportunity to be recruiting monthly donors. So in the email space, this can be an outright invite, or you can pepper in your ask into a larger campaign. And there's always an opportunity to really build brand awareness around your monthly giving program, as well as on your website. So on your content pages, having ad space there, like house ads for your light boxes, pop-ups, and making sure your donation form is optimized for monthly giving. So thinking about the user experience of someone getting to your form and understanding that there is the choice between one-time and monthly. There's SMS, so that personal outreach to try and get someone engaged with monthly giving. Social media, whether that's your organic social, so you can be sharing that monthly giving is an option, maybe feature a monthly donor or the impact that monthly donations can make. And then paid promotion, so making sure that you are targeting a broad range of people for your monthly giving program. And then you can't forget the non-digital space of direct mail, telemarketing, canvassing, events, just anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, we all live IRL, right? So it's silly to forget about those offline tactics, and especially if you are leveraging texting tools, as well as like the kind of event call to actions that very, very prominent for monthly giving. And if you're running canvassing, you know that it must be monthly giving to make it worthwhile from a revenue and cost standpoint anyways. So definitely makes sense. We'll share some examples too around direct mail about how you can leverage that in. The old standby is it's not worth it in direct mail to do standalone appeals for soliciting monthly gifts, but there are ways that you can include it in to, again, just kind of build the brand awareness of the program and make sure that that recognition is there when people are ready to make that switch. So we'll get into some specific examples here. It is really important to be direct. You don't ever want to like clickbait people into becoming a sustainer, right? A lot of people, most nonprofits do have problems there, like especially if they're defaulting to monthly, which we'll show some form examples with that. I didn't mean to become a sustainer. It was an accident. So be as direct as possible. It is impossible to read this right now, but I thought I made it big. This is an example from the DNC, and the subject line legitimately says, "This is a fundraising email asking you to start a monthly donation to the DNC. Please let me explain why this is so important." So very long, but it does not get more direct than that. And you're gonna cut down on your open rate, potentially, but you're gonna qualify the people who are opening it. The people who open that know what they're getting into and they want to learn more. Always be future focused with sustainer programs and sustainer invites too. This is the one area where success-based examples and anecdotes really works. In fundraising, we talk about doom and gloom and like the gut impact of like making somebody respond because of something horrible that just happened or the threat of something horrible happening. Sustainer programs are about investing in your mission, and using that future-focused investment language is really powerful. So again, an example from the DNC, when you give early and consistently, we can fund more organizers on the ground. We can train more college students. So you're talking about what's gonna happen with the money as much as you can, and you're saying that, you're also highlighting the impact and the benefit so that the gift made to the DNC now makes more difference than if you made the same amount in one big one-time gift closer to election day. Because we can't do as much with that money by the time we get that far down the line as we can do right now. So showing that impact and showing how that dollar makes a difference now, and the sustained dollar has a big, big benefit in monthly giving. So another example I wanted to share from corporate accountability is you can be part of the growing movement to hold big polluters liable. So again, putting the donor in the center, making them the hero of the story, showing that impact. And sorry, the font's so small. And also, just like any other fundraising, having a deadline and having true benefits. So in this case, a matching gift, an additional $100 for every new sustainer acquired, is a driver. That's going to work wherever you can do it. It's a little bit harder with recurring gifts, but this is a tactic you'll hear with NPF found very successful as well, that if you just tie it to that first acquisition gift, you don't have to worry about how you're allotting the matching gift for reoccurring gifts later on, and it's very successful. And then of course, if you have true benefits, cute tote bags, who doesn't want an alpaca sacca? The sustainer programs are great for that too. Back-end premiums, anything that you're using in the mail can certainly be used for sustainer recruitment, and it's a true benefit that gives brand awareness too. Really important to make this easy, right? Everything that we do in fundraising should be about reducing friction, meeting donors where they are, being ready to receive that gift in whatever form they want to make it. But sustainer programs are really important with that, even more so. Again, we don't want those accidental monthly gifts coming in that are just going to have to be refunded later on. This is an example from LLS that is a one-click reoccurring giving functionality. Ian doesn't have this quite yet, but if you were in the cool tools or hidden gems thing, you might have heard Ben talk about this being requested. It might have been by me and some other people. But this is a really important thing that if you see other nonprofits doing stuff and you don't know if it's possible in EN, ask. And if it's not on the roadmap already, they'll get it there. So leveraging things like this just makes it easy for them. It's an automatic, this example is an automatic $19 a month gift. So you're taking out the question of how much should I give? What's the appropriate amount? You're just saying, this is it. We already have your information on file. Commit to this gift monthly from now on. And as we talked about, included everywhere. That fantastically long example is a Red Cross newsletter. And down at the bottom, there is this call out, advertising for becoming a Red Cross champion. So it doesn't have to be a direct solicitation. It should be in your cultivation, your engagement, your education pieces, both online and off. Here's an example of a direct mail newsletter, as well as an acknowledgement insert. So give the gift of hope every month. This goes out in every receipt that is mailed to every donor, or every one-time donor, I should say. And the back of it, I didn't put it in here, but it says the impact of your monthly giving, and then shows the programmatic work. So clinical trials and patient care, and stuff like that. So making sure that you have it in all places allows that donor to choose when and how they interact. And we have DM URLs on both of these direct mail pieces. It's really important to have vanity URLs that are easy, and it helps to be trackable, right? Don't just go /donate or /monthly. That's going to be accessible from everywhere. We've seen a huge spike in offline sustainer giving coming from these DM URLs for City of Hope, which is this example here, Cancer Research Institute out in LA, just in the last 18 months. So your direct mail audience is going to be receptive to monthly giving, just like their email audience is. And this is a really great way to engage them in the medium they enjoy, but get that gift online instead of having a check sustainer program. Don't do that anymore. We don't recommend that. And then of course, don't forget about light boxes. This is an example of an upsell light box for Trust for Public Land. So when somebody makes that one-time single gift online, we say, but wait, there's more. Make a gift, upgrade your giving, dynamic algorithm based on the amount that they selected for the one-time gift, calculated into an easy bite-sized monthly gift. And then if they say no thanks, the one-time gift does go through. We see about a 4% conversion rate to sustainers through these across clients, and with very minimal, not statistically significant abandonment. So it's definitely worth trying. Use your beautiful imagery, try different languages, really use that impact language and future focus here too. Making monthly your default on your website is also an easy thing to do. Test it though. There's a huge impact on cash flow when monthly gifts start replacing one-time gifts from your main donation forms, especially in Q4. I wouldn't recommend trying it right now or rolling it out right now. There are many organizations who grew their sustainer programs by doing this. WWF, HRC, ASPCA, great examples of this. If you go to any of those websites right now, you'll notice that they do default to one time now. So whether that is a choice because of testing that they switch back to, or because of end of fiscal year cash flow needs, or whatever it is something that you want to be strategic about, and you do want to make it as clear as possible that, again, you're not going to accidentally get a bunch of monthly gifts. So it's hard to see, but underneath the ask array for the one on the left here, Saving Babies' Lives, it actually says, the slash per day amount too. So it's breaking up that $25 gift into the 34 cents a day. They're of course also leveraging a blanket, so you get your premium. And the one on the right here is calling out that monthly with that handwritten script, which is a great Steal Smart idea from direct mail, to really show the benefit and impact of monthly. I've also seen really great examples where the submit button is customized to say $25 monthly gift or something again, so you're referencing that word monthly multiple times throughout the form to reinforce that, so you get as few accidental monthly gifts as possible. So now we have all these fantastic new sustainers. We have to steward them. So these are a couple examples from Trust for Public Land and the Holocaust Museum here in DC. The TPL example, this is a true stewardship email versioned to sustainers. So it's an education, it's a here's how your dollars are going to work piece, and the supporter gets to see that like I'm referenced as a sustainer. They get to feel like an insider. I underlined all of this fantastic copy, and this screen is so far away from all of you. I'm happy to send the PowerPoint if anybody wants it, because the copy really is the core of making any donor feel included, feel welcomed. So let me know if you want that. Because it's so far away. This ocean example is Giving Tuesday. So don't forget to ask your sustainers to make additional one-time gifts. Just acknowledge their giving already. Don't suppress them from everything. Like this whole section on Steward Your Monthly Donors is please move past the don't wake the sleeping bear stigma of sustainer programs where we if we talk to them, they'll remember they're giving monthly and might cancel. What? No, we want them to know that they are giving to you and that they're an important part of your program. These are mid to high value donors. If you're giving $10 a month, you're now giving over $100 a year. How do you treat your $100 plus donors differently than a $10 donor? Are you giving your sustainers at least that same value, that same high touch treatment? We have some clients that the average gift is $30 a month. That's a big donor on an annual value. And if you have sustainer retention that's 18 to 24 to 36 months, which is very typical for nonprofits, that is a mid-level donor and they should definitely be stewarded as such. It doesn't take a lot. You can repurpose the content you already have, leveraging things in marketing automation, leveraging the hub, which I'll talk to in a second too, is a really important and easy kind of turnkey ways, not set it and forget it, set it and check on it. If you heard Gabby say this morning from HSI, you do have to check in on it to make sure everything's good, but talk to these people. They are some of your most committed donors, and they will give, again, one-time appeals to important campaigns, whether it's Giving Tuesday, calendar year end, or an issue-specific topic that is appropriate for you out in the media, or big with any breakthroughs. A lot of people are very scared about sending monthly statements to sustainers, kind of along those same lines that I just talked about with Don't Wake the Bear. This is a great example that I love from the Environmental Defense Action Fund. So this is their C4, which I'm a sustainer and have been for years. I don't get any tax deductibility out of it. It's a C4, but they give me great updates every month, along with my receipt, which is down below this email. You can see it on the shorter or the longer tiny version on the side. But it tells me where my money's going, the programs how it's helped. And when I go back and compare month over month, because I'm a fundraiser and I like to see what's happening, it's only a couple sentences that are different. Because legislative action doesn't move very fast. So they're not sending out unique content every single month that's taking a lot of time to prepare. It's a slight tweak or an update if something has changed. And most of your donors don't pay as much attention to the content as we do, even though we slave over crafting fantastic content. They're not going to go back and compare messages. So don't feel bad if you are recycling, upcycling that content from different places in your website. The only link in this email is to their MyEDF hub. They're not in EN, but you can have all of the same functionality from what they custom built to do this in a system that doesn't provide the cool tools that EN does. But giving somebody the ownership to manage their own monthly gift, again, can feel a little scary. You're letting go a little bit of control. They might cancel. But if you're doing your job stewarding them and you're building a relationship with them, they're in it for the long haul, and they're gonna leverage this to increase their monthly gift. Or make sure that their credit card, when it expires, you get that new date proactively because they love and care about you. A really cool thing you can do in the hub too is build a daisy chain of actions. So if somebody is a sustainer when they get here, you can give them a prompt to upgrade their gift. Or if they're coming toward their expiry date, you can give them a prompt on this login page to fix their credit card. If they're not a sustainer yet, but they're a one-time donor or an action taker, you can give them a monthly invite prompt. So you can go in if you're using the hub. Is anybody using the hub yet? A couple of people, okay, good. This is one of those things that Ben's I love it so much and not enough people use it. There's a lot of things that you can do that can customize it for the supporter, and it will serve your needs and end goals. So I encourage you to leverage that. And then don't forget offline. So I've got a couple examples here from Emily's list. When somebody becomes a new sustainer, they send out a thank you note with a little Ignite Change sticker. Everybody loves stickers, decals, stuff like that, very mission focused. Again, a little bit of brand awareness, very short letter, very turnkey. Once you have it set up, it's easy to do. And then at 6 months, they send another thank you letter. So this is in addition to those emails where you can update people there. Getting in people's mailboxes is just that extra layer. And all of the studies are showing that millennials are very responsive to direct mail. They just don't have checks at home. But if you can get them in front of them in the envelope and get them to open something that says, thank you, who's not gonna open that? There's literally nobody who said, you thank me too much, please stop. Oh my gosh. So thank people. And then at 12 months, they send a fantastic kit and caboodle. So you've been with us for a year, we appreciate you so much. Here's some fantastic swag. Note cards, bumper sticker, or car magnet actually, which is even cooler, and tote bag. And then again, another personalized letter. So making sure that you're thanking these people, scale up, scale down based on your own capabilities and logistics. But don't forget offline channel. Again, we all live offline. There's no such thing as a single channel person. So as part of stewardship, we have to re-engage folks. We don't want to forget about them. We don't want them to forget about us. And sometimes we do have to reinstate them. So another example here from the Trust for Public Land. Again, can't read the copy. But I'm asking you to step up and fight harder alongside us. Is that yellow highlighted copy? So upgrade your gift. This is an upgrade your gift specific invite. And he sent them to a survey form. So this is a client that does not leverage Engaging Networks, so they don't have that cool hub that you can send people to upgrade their gift themselves. So to hack around that, we built a little survey form where they could choose the amount that they wanted to upgrade by and submit the form, and then that would come to us and to the client on the back end, where unfortunately it gets manually updated, but sustainer program updates, not huge quantities, totally doable by a development associate or even an intern at some point during the year. So don't forget about that. If somebody's been on the file more than a year without upgrading their monthly gift, they are ripe for asking. A $3 upgrade a month is not unmanageable for the vast majority of donors. And then when you do have to reinstate somebody, be proactive about it. If all of the softwares, Engaging Networks is great at this, but pretty much everything will have an expire-based triggered series that you can set up. Make sure that you are getting to them before the card expires, before they lapse. And then if you don't, if you can't get all the way there, send that cleanup email. This is another great place to have people pick up the phone. Internal staff, it's not gonna be a big chunk of people every month that are going to expire, so it's just a to-do list that's on somebody's rolling schedule. If we don't get them via email, pick up that phone and have them reinstate their card. Because most people don't know that they've lapsed. They forget, they donate to lots of different nonprofits, they think the card is fine, and if you don't proactively reach out, you've lost them out of, for no reason whatsoever. So.
All right, so now I'm going to talk to you about the National Park Foundation. So taking everything that we just heard from Brenna, I'm going to show you how we put this into a cohesive campaign. So first I wanted to start with some background on the National Park Foundation. They're the official nonprofit partner of the National Park Service, and they generate private support and build strategic partnerships to protect and enhance America's national parks. Typically, September for them is their end of fiscal year campaign. So this is their mini version of a calendar year end campaign. So big push for one-time gifts. We have a deadline of September 30th, and we usually have a budget goal. So this year, the National Park Foundation received a corporate match, which was super exciting. But there was a caveat. The match could only be used to recruit new sustainers. So CCAH was tasked with re-strategizing the full September campaign. So we had a mountain to climb. Our goal was to recruit 500 new sustainers. And so we knew that there were so many techniques out there and strategies, as Brenna just went through, but we really need to think about how we could pull these all together to have a cohesive and successful campaign to reach this goal. So here are the things that we knew going into September. We knew the digital channels that we wanted to promote this initiative. So we wanted to use email, our donation pages, display ads, and paid Facebook ads. We had our campaign motivators. So our partnership was with the Coca-Cola Company. We had a slew of tote bags, National Park Foundation tote bags that were also being used in the mail that we could be using for this program. And then we had the deadline of the fiscal year end. So we had some urgency with this campaign. And then we had the techniques galore to choose from, whether that was defaulting to monthly giving, decision science, light boxes, premiums, everything. Everything was on the table for us. And so we really had to consider, how are we going to be smart about this? We wanted to do it all, but we needed to do it right. So our campaign was really supported by our email series. So this was a huge tactic that we employed, and we sent 4 emails over the course of September to our active lapse and prospect audiences. And so this is the first email in the series. Again, very small, but we'll point out some of the components that were important to each email that we sent. So starting with our branded sustainer program. So NPF does call their monthly donors friends of NPF. So this isn't a requirement to have a name for your monthly donor group, but it's important to be consistent throughout your communication. So if in one email you call them a monthly donor, calling them a monthly pledger in the next might add confusion, or a sustainer. So you want to be consistent across the board in all channels. Our emails also included a case for monthly giving. So this was to show what your impact would be as a monthly donor, and to also explain that these gifts could be anywhere from $5 on, that any gift amount really helped in this case. Then we followed this with our incentive to join. So we always led with the Coca-Cola partnership. So they were giving $100 for every new donor, monthly donor that came on the file And so the donation forms for this campaign were utilized through email, our paid ads, and then on our homepage. And so all of these donation forms defaulted to monthly giving. And as Brenna mentioned before, we wanted to make sure that people didn't accidentally become a monthly donor and then call the organization in a panic. And so we wanted to make sure that user experience really matched our goals, but also took into consideration kind of what that natural instinct is when you get on the donation form. So we made sure that we updated the radio buttons to designate that they were per month. And then we included a special call out for the matching gift offer. And the tote bag was only available through the email series. So on that specific donation form, we made sure to have information there, and you can also opt out of receiving that benefit.
Which is a really nice thing to add too, giving people the opportunity to opt out of the premium is great for you because it cuts down on fulfillment costs, and you will be surprised at how many people actually just will later on say, thank you so much for giving me that choice. I didn't need another tote bag, or I'm never going to use X. And people really just really empowered by that and really like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so on our donation form on the homepage, we had a sustainer invite upsell light box. So when someone did opt to make a one-time gift, when they hit submit, it triggered this light box. We set giving parameters, so you had to give a minimum gift of $50, and it only went up to $499. And then this light box would fire. And so it would give you a donation amount, a monthly giving amount, based on that initial one-time gift. So if you were making, a $50 gift, it wasn't going to ask you to make a huge monthly gift. And you're like, that doesn't seem like it's right for me. So you wanted to make sure to make the right ask for the right person. And as Brenna mentioned, this doesn't necessarily give the greatest conversion from one-time to monthly, but in our testing, it didn't hurt our results in terms of our normal sustainer recruitment through our main donation form. So we did keep this up for the month of September. And finally, we did digital advertising. So we did display ads and Facebook. So on the left are our display ads, and on the right is Facebook. And the imagery that you see here is consistent with what was seen in the emails or on the donation form. So it's really bringing together this cohesive campaign. And it's also to generate in whoever is seeing these things, like, oh, I think I've seen that before. That might be important to me. And so we also wanted to make sure that in the creative, the button said donate monthly, because in our previous ads, we typically were just trying to get one-time donations. It's also important to note here that we took some time to really think about who we would be serving these ads to. And so since this is a investment, we did only serve this to our actively engaged file and our lapsed audience. We decided not to target our prospects just because their natural return on investment wasn't strong enough for this type of ask. So how did we do? We recruited more than 700 new sustainers, which quite honestly blew us away.
Yeah.
We definitely exceeded our expectations, and it was a really big win for the National Park Foundation. They are seeing more and more sustainers come onto their file, which means our technology has to be prepared for all these people, as well as the strategy. And it was really interesting to look at kind of what made up these 700 plus new sustainers. 83% of these new sustainers came from our email series. And so we had been doing one-off email invites throughout the year, but we had not seen any results like this. So this is really telling us something, that we need that repetition, that one invite every couple of months might not make the best impact for our supporters. And also, we were a little hesitant about including both the corporate match and a premium. How would those compete with each other? Would the $15 premium create a ceiling for us for our monthly donors? And so we actually And so we're really excited with how this turned out. It ended on September 30th, so we're just 10 days out from it. But as Brenna talked through, it doesn't stop here. We need to make sure that we're retaining these sustainers, that we're showing them that we know they're there, that we care about them, and especially going into the calendar year end, we'll be versioning copies, sending them cultivation emails, and so we also will be looking at kind of our full September campaign and how do we cut that into pieces and make sure that we're recruiting throughout the year as well. So, thanks.
Well, that's it. Thank you, guys. So just obviously we'll answer any questions that folks have too, but I just wanted you to remember, like, anyone can become a sustainer. Right? Netflix has made this possible for all of us. And to always test, and I'm sure you've heard this from every session that you've been to, and if not, you should chastise the presenter. Because just because something worked for one organization doesn't mean it will work for every organization or every segment of every organization's donor file. You definitely have to be willing to test, always doing that. Try different treatments, try incentives, and if it's outside the box, do a 20% test. It doesn't have to be a 50-50%, so you can minimize your risk there. But thank you, everybody. Yeah, questions? Thank you.